Have you ever felt like your emotions were running the show and not in a good way? Like you're snapping at the people you love, crying in the car, and wondering, what is even happening to me right now? Most of us think that if we just try harder, calm down a little bit, we'll get it together. But what if the chaos you're feeling isn't about willpower at all? What if it's your brain trying to get your attention? And what if there's a way to actually work with it? In this episode, we're talking about what's really going on inside your brain and how you can shift from emotional overload to something calmer, more grounded, and more you. I really want to be upfront with you. I'm recording this just a few minutes after I finished my interview with Dr. Jill, and I'm not sure if you can tell by my red face, but I got a little emotional at the end of the conversation. She brought out some things that I was feeling, but didn't know where to put, or even how to process. So I'm hoping that you'll stick around because maybe, just maybe, you'll feel some of those emotions too. Or maybe just, I cry a lot, I'm not sure. And finally, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more real insights. Today's guest is Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, a Harvard-trained neuroanatomist whose groundbreaking work helps people better understand their brains, their emotions, and their choices. She studied the brain for decades, but it was a massive stroke that gave her the most unexpected insight of all. As her brain shut down, she watched it happen in real time, and that experience changed everything. She wrote about it in her New York Times bestseller, My Stroke of Insight, and later developed a powerful new framework called Whole Brain Living. Her work is helping people around the world find peace, presence, and purpose, even when life feels completely out of control. Dr. Jill, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Holly, I'm very excited. I think this will be a great and important conversation.
You've spent your entire career studying the brain, but it wasn't until you had an experience that most of us will never have, which is having the stroke and being able to see your brain shut down in real time. What did that moment teach you about how our mind really works?
I think I wrote a whole book about it.
Yes. And I got it right here.
Big question, Holly. Big question. What it really taught me, if I had to whittle it down, was that we have so much more power over what's going on inside of our brains than we've been taught. Typically, our society and our medical world looks at 3/4 of our brain as part of our unconscious or subconscious mind. And because I had this stroke experience through the eyes of a neuroscientist, through the eyes of a neuroanatomist who thinks in brain circuits, because the rational thinking portion of my brain, which the medical world views as conscious, went offline, I wasn't unconscious. I was simply differently conscious. And so what this stroke experience gave me was a real insight into what's going on into the other parts of the brain when that left thinking, rational alpha 1 type personality goes away and is no longer inhibiting the awareness of what's going on in the rest of the brain. And in using then the subconscious tissue to rebuild purposely, consciously, that portion of the brain so that I could be, functional again in the world, gave me great insight into what's actually going on into these multiple parts of the brain. And it was a beautiful experience through the eyes of a scientist.
You refer to those 4 characters of the brain.
We have 2 emotional groups. Most people think, I have emotion in the right hemisphere, thinking in the left hemisphere. And that's not true. What we have is emotion in both hemispheres at an anatomical level. We have 2 amygdala, 2 hippocampi, 2 cingulate gyri. Those are the groups of cells that make up most of the limbic system or the emotional system. And then beyond that, above that, we have thinking tissue and in each hemisphere. So as I look at the brain, I break it down to, we end up with these 4 major modules of cells, 2 thinking modules, 2 emotional or experiential modules, And the difference between them is what's going on in the right hemisphere and how it processes information versus how the left hemisphere processes information. And they're completely opposite from one another.
Are those four characters trying to get our attention at the same time?
I think a typical life is built with, circuitry running on automatic. The thing about brain cells is that brain cells communicate with brain cells in circuits. And those circuits, the more you run them, the stronger they get, which is how we have the ability to learn something new. I have to repetition my language, or I have to repetition playing a piano in order to learn those basic fundamental skills before I can really take it to the next level of being creative with that information. So we end up with these four different groups of cells that each have very specific skill sets, that each have result in very specific, predictable personalities that we all display. But it's kind of like a hand. We all know we have a hand. And if all we have is a hand, I can push and I can pull and I can push down and I can pull up and I can do all kinds of things with a hand, which is what we're doing typically with our brain at this stage of human evolution. But now that we really understand at a neuroanatomical level that we can differentiate between these four different parts of the brain based on four different personalities that we all have, it gives us the ability to have a manual dexterity at the level of real finger, being able to use those fingers individually. And that's true with the brain. If I know who the four characters are inside of my brain, what it's good at, where it's located inside of my brain, the personality that comes out of me when that specific group of cells is the dominant one, when I know all four characters inside of my brain, then it gives me the ability to pick and choose at any moment, well, which one do I want to be involved with?
There was one character that I sort of got stuck on when I was reading the book, and that was character number 2. And you refer to it as the left emotional brain, where our pain and trauma is stored.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of women, and especially in midlife and, going through menopause, that number 2, we could really get stuck there.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about all four of the characters so that we know what our alternatives are. Because it's true, if I spend a lot of time running one of the circuits, then that circuit gets stronger and stronger, and it dominates in my life. And we're all different in how that happens. So in which ones are dominant. So the left rational thinking tissue, I call that character 1. And that is our alpha type personality. That tissue is specifically designed with language. So language is in this portion of the brain. Mm-hmm. And it allows me to communicate with other people in the external world. So that character 1, which the medical community considers I was no longer conscious because that portion went offline, even though I was conscious with the rest of my brain. That part of our brain, it likes to dominate. It likes to be the boss. It likes to control people, places, and things. It likes to organize and categorize. It likes to be punctual because it can manage time. So it's a fixer. It has all these skill sets, and most of us can relate to that part of who we are. That's the part of us we can, it's the part that goes to work. It's the part that deals with negotiation on the telephone. It's the part that gets me to an appointment on time. It's the part that likes that my drawers are well organized so that I can find things. And so that's what I call character 1, left thinking tissue. And we all have this, and so for some of us, it's very well developed, and for some of us, it's not so well developed. But it's a group of cells inside of our brain. Do you know that part of yourself very well, Holly? Most of us do. I call mine Helen. Hell on wheels. She gets it done. She feels very specific in my body. She tends to sit up or stand up straight. She puts earrings in. She's the only part of my brain that puts earrings in. She has her own wardrobe. She wears my brain logo. She's a real strong portion of my personality. Did you give your character one a name?
No, I didn't. I had a hard time with the names because I could picture the characters,
Yeah.
but I couldn't give them a name. I could picture
that's
number one
because-
as like this huffy little person that just wanted to get it all done. And then character number two, I pictured as just a little girl that was kind of weepy and wasn't sure how to use her voice. And
Yeah. Okay, well, let's go to character two then. So I think it's really important that people do give these characters names because it's the perfectionist. I have learned that it is the perfectionist portion of the brain that says, oh, well, I don't want to give it a name because then I'm stuck with the name. And I say, I don't care if it's perfect or not. You can change it later. Give it a name because it has an identity. And as soon as you really say, I mean, I can tell when Helen pops into my body instantly because she's very strong. She's a great personality for me, but she's not my dominant. She's not my chosen. She's just a tool that I use to be a functional human in the world. So don't be afraid of the names. Just give them an identity. So character one is that part of us that goes to work. And the thing about the left hemisphere is the left thinking tissue and the left emotional tissue. So the left hemisphere has linearity across time. And so I have a life. I can remember why I chose to put these particular shoes on this morning. Because of my left brain, I have linearity and I understand sequential thinking. So I knew that I had to put my socks on before I put my shoes on. These are fantastic tools, but these are groups of cells inside of our brain that perform this function. And they just run on automatic all the time because they're fundamental skill sets that we've been living with ever since we, were taught these when we were 1 or 2 or 3 years old. So the left emotional tissue, then, if we have linearity across time in the left hemisphere, then that's going to be all the emotion from my past. So any trauma I ever experienced is going to be in that tissue and in that part of the brain. And the thing is that in order for me to learn or in order for me to grow as a human being, I need to have my awareness brought to the border of where I am and where I'm not comfortable. So these cells were willing to step out of the consciousness of the present moment. So we'll talk about the right hemisphere in a minute, but the right hemisphere is a right here, right now machine. We are born into the present moment. We're not born into the past. We're not born into the present. We don't love in the past. We don't love in the future. We love in the present moment. So the right hemisphere is this right here, right now machine, and everything is what it is without the judgment of right and wrong and good and bad of the left hemisphere. And me, the individual, my identity, my ego center is in that left hemisphere. So the left hemisphere is all about me, and my pain from the past is in the emotion of the emotional tissue of the left hemisphere, which is all my pain from the past and all my experiences. And pain, whether it's a physical pain or an emotional pain, it's a flag waving, hey, I'm not comfortable with this and I need to look at it, right? It needs some attention. And so if I'm willing to look at the things that come into my present moment, compare that to everything that ever happened in my past, then I can determine whether or not I'm safe in the present moment based on my experience from my past. So I have to have this information, but our pain from the past is information. It's not meant to be a lifestyle. It's meant to be information. And again, it's simply a group of cells inside of my brain that are allowing me the privilege of having pain so I can look at it in order to make sure I'm safe. So that's the goal of the left hemisphere. It's not to run around in the loops of the pain from the past over and over, because we already know the more often we run that circuit, the stronger it gets. So the more I'm dwelling in my pain, the more I'm talking about my pain. It's like, don't talk about your pain. Go and look and explore, how does this pain serve me in the present moment? And if this pain does nothing but hook me into my trauma, and I'm just going to rerun the trauma, rerun the trauma, rerun the trauma. Well, that's kind of what parts is all about. Parts work, the system by Schwartz. But the problem with that is that I can define all the problems, but I'm still routinizing in that character too, and that's not where my pain is not. So if I want to get out of my pain, if I know I have this character one, as soon as let's say I'm in my pain and I'm unhappy and I'm doing something and I'm miserable and I'm, misery loves miserable company. So I'm talking to somebody else about my misery. And so I'm in my low character two, and low character two is trying to hook on and say, well, let's look at the pain and heal the pain instead of just routinize and grow the pain. Right. So if whole brain living is all about how do I get out of that circuitry into a part of my brain, like my left thinking rational brain, that can then maybe analyze what's going on, make an assessment of the present moment, compare it to the past, and learn the lesson, whatever it is I need to heal, so I actually can heal that wound, so I can transform my consciousness overall so that I don't have to keep routinizing in that old pain that happened 30 years ago. So this is not in any way to disrespect our pain. This is to honor the pain, but to recognize that pain is a message. Pain is information. It's not meant to be a lifestyle.
I never thought of it that way before, but that's exactly what I think happens a lot of time, is that the pain turns into a way in which we're going to, instead of heal it, we're going to live with it.
Yeah.
And that's not a good thing.
I remember before my stroke how I felt about my pain from the past, and I felt like I'm going to hold on to my pain because my pain defines who I am. And I have this deep heartbreak that I'm holding on to because I love so deeply, and it's a part of who I am that I love so deeply that when I lost that love, I was heartbroken, and I'm still in that pain. And it's like, well, that's one way of doing it and holding on to the pain, but all that defines is that part of your brain. What about the other parts of the brain? And I would notice that even in the depths of my despair or the depths of my grief or the depths of my heartbreak, what did I do that was healthy? I'd go to work. And I'd go to work because I'd jump into character one portion of my brain, which distracted me away from the constriction that I felt in my heart when I was in my little character two. So, I didn't know how to purposely manage my pain and hold myself with my own right hemisphere, which is in the present moment experience. So pain is real and pain is important, but pain is information. It's not meant to be a lifestyle. Let's go into the right hemisphere. So in the right hemisphere now, me, the individual, that's a little group of cells about the size of a peanut in my left brain that says I am Jill Bolte Taylor. And Jill Bolte Taylor, here's my color scheme, here's my logo, here's my brand, here's my job, here's my dogs, here's my house, here's my phone, here's me, right? In that left hemisphere. And when I had the hemorrhage and I lost that left hemisphere, what I gained was the experience of the present moment. So all I have is the present moment. And in the present moment, there is no judgment of right and wrong and good or bad. There simply is the present moment and what is there. So what do? We engage with our bodies. We engage with our sensory systems in the present moment. And that's what that limbic tissue does in the right hemisphere. It's experiential. What does it feel like just where you're sitting right here, right now? What does it feel like? What's the temperature of the air? Is it cold? Are you comfortable? Is it too warm? Are you sweating? How much humidity is in the air? What does it feel like when you dive into the water and you feel the pressure of the water against your body and you feel the temperature of the water against your skin and you feel water as wet? You feel wet in the present moment. So this is what that tissue does. It allows us this ability to experience the world. And then the right thinking tissue, it's just hanging out looking at everything going, oh my God, I am alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm not what I was before, dead. I wasn't whatever I was before I existed. I'm alive. I'm this biological creature made of these incredible cells that started with one cell, and now I'm like 50 trillion molecular geniuses that are capable of seeing things, and I have language so I can communicate with other people, and oh my God, I have bladder capacity. Oh my God, what a miracle I am, simply because I exist as a living being. And because of that, there is no boundaries between us. There's no boundaries because me, the individual, is over in the left hemisphere. To the right hemisphere, we are just one big human family. And we're like swarming on this magnificent planet together, trying to figure it out. And this beautiful planet, oh my gosh. And so this is the part of us that is the collective whole. And we're all wired for that. So when you say to me, are they all just kind of in there running around? They are. That we're running on automatic. And what whole brain living does is it helps us differentiate these 4 different parts of who we are so that we can choose in any moment which one we want to be. And when we have that awareness and that ability, that's true personal freedom. And I truly believe that's the evolution of humanity. And that's where we're headed if we ever get there.
And there, who is left? So the first 2 characters, one is the boss, or number 2 is more emotions and trauma. Number 3 is sort of present and happy. Like, that seems really positive.
It's like the little happy child. It just is. It's in the body. They're both of the emotions are in the body, but one is saying, give me a reason to say no, it's not safe to move forward. And in the right, it's just, wow, I'm alive, I'm moving forward.
And who's number 4? What's character number 4?
Number 4 is the one that says, oh my God, I'm alive. And it's simply this awareness. What does it feel like in your soul when you're standing on a mountaintop and you see yourself as this tiny little human life in relationship to the skies and the universe? I mean, with that feeling of wow, just wow, I'm alive. Wow. What does it feel like? For me, it happens every time I see a dolphin. There's something about dolphins that, it's like, oh, it's a dolphin. Gotta go. And just to view, and whales, oh my gosh, the energetics of around whales that are leaping and breaching, and oh my gosh. And I feel it, this is just the awe, the wonder of us being alive. And when we differentiate and we get to know these parts of who we are, how they feel inside of our body, and we pay attention to our relationships, because if there's 4 inside of me and there's 4 inside of you, there's 8 of us in every relationship. And so as we look at our children, or as our spouses, or our parents, or our colleagues, all of a sudden it's like, oh, Holly's in her little character too. So I'm going to come in loving and soft and gentle with my character 4, and I'm going to connect with you and help invite you back out to play. Because why wouldn't I do that? You're part of my human family. And that's very different than if Holly's in her little character 2 and you're in your pain, and I come in as character 1 boss and I say, I don't know what's got into you today, but I need you to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Right? Because it's not emotional. It is simply cognition, and it's productive. It's the push, go, more, and enough is never enough.
I really love the idea of being more in that happy place and looking for you, it's the dolphins and the whales. But for so many of us, I think we just go about our day never noticing the beautiful parts of life, because sometimes it's a struggle, and it just feels that we can really get stuck. Why is it that we don't think about our brains until stuff is going wrong? How do we change that perspective?
So you're using the word we a lot.
Yes.
And I think that we is a population, but I think a lot of us are not like that. A lot of us push down our pain. We don't want to be in that place. And so we push our character 1 way up front so that it's really productive, really driven, really busy, really monetizing the world. Everything is, for that character, becomes very contractual. And then there's another population that is really in the pain, not in the happy, not in the joy, caught in those cells.
Mhm.
There's a population that doesn't take anything seriously at all and is just kind of bouncing from this and bouncing from that and is all over the place and loves music and loves arts and loves athletics and is just in the body and just in that whatever is love the one you're with. And then there's a population that is very, very simply in awe of the existence of what we are, and its mindset is one that is community based, one that is how do I be of service to my fellow man. So I think that there are all four of these characters are on exhibit all the time in everyone you meet in your day. And when you learn who these four characters are and you start seeing them in other people, then you recognize, oh yeah, that one's bouncing like a character 3, or oh yeah, that one's, every hair is in place and the pen is in the pocket. Everything is proper and as it should be. And you can walk into someone's office and you can immediately look at at their desks and pretty much tell what's going on based on, inside of their brain, because the brain is the tool that we use as output into the world. All the music, you have someone singing, I did it my way. Well, it's my way, right? It's about me. It's my way or the highway, right? That is so character 1. This is me. This is my life. You got you and me against the world. Sometimes it feels like you and me against the world. Well, that's a character 2 song. It's a character 2 singing that song. Girls just want to have fun. That's a character 3 song. Oh, what a wonderful world. That's a character 4 song. So everything of our social norm is the byproduct of what we are as biological creatures. We are putting out into the world the expression of ourselves and our 4 characters. You say to a group of children, you say, okay, let's think about Harry Potter, and here are the 4 characters inside of everybody's brain. And the thing about children is they're really receptive to this kind of information, and I can say to them, okay, so character 1 is the one that is organized and structured and controls everything and studious and punctual and what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad. Who in Harry Potter is that? Every child will scream, Hermione!
Yes.
Because there it is, right there. I'll say, okay, where's the wisdom? Where's the, oh my gosh, big picture, collective whole, we are this magnificent creature, Dusseldorf, right? Okay, who's the villain, right? Everybody knows. So, I mean, you can take this down to 3-year-olds and SpongeBob, and they will define for you the 4 different characters, because there are 4 different characters in each one of us. And so that's the output of what we are. I'm not going to create or manifest something that I cannot conceive or I cannot feel or I cannot embody, because I'm human, right? I am what I am. We are what we are. So the real key is identifying, being willing to loosen up the attachment to our pain. Yeah, I know how I love. I don't have to feel that pain every day to know how I love. And one day I will release that love on another human, and I don't have to feel the pain from the last broken heart or the last grief that I experienced when I lost my parents. So it's accepting that I am all 4 of these magnificent ways of being, and that little character 2 pain, I have to have that pain if I am to learn and I am to grow. I have to have the pain, but I can't, but again, it's designed for information for me to be able to learn and be able to grow, not make it a lifestyle, because otherwise people around me, they're going to say, oh, Jill's in character 2 all the time now, and she's not very, it's like I kind of have to go and match that energy, and I don't want to go match that energy. I want to go get my stuff done as my alpha 1, or I want to go play tennis or go make mud puddles in the, woods, or I want to go be in awe of what I am. I don't want to be in my pain from the past. I don't want that to be what dominates me in this level of consciousness. Now, in 5 minutes, I might feel differently, but that's the beauty, is I have the power to choose moment by moment who and how I want to be. And so I may be really productive right now. I might have a conversation with you as my character one. And then after this, I might take a walk in the woods with my dogs, because now I'm reflecting on something, something that hurts my heart, and I'm nurturing myself. I am not saying in any way deny any part of who you are. What I'm saying is don't let a part of you dominate who you are. Be all four parts of who you are.
I think the reason why I was saying we a lot is that when in the community of women that I talk to and work with, it just seems that maybe it's just in this moment in time that we're going through a lot of things where, midlife causes a lot of disruption in your life. And I don't necessarily, me personally, think I move quickly enough through the characters, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, absolutely. But you need to know who they are in order to be able to grab that part of me and say, I was with this person, I was commiserating. Misery does love miserable company. And if I'm coaching, or I'm being therapeutic, or I'm just even being a friend to someone who's in their pain, I can go and I can do that, and I can love them, and I can be with them, and I can hold that space, and I can offer suggestions. But at the same time, in the next hour, in order for me to rejuvenate my energetic vibe, I need to get out of that, because that's a really heavy place to be. Now, let's talk about menopause, because I noticed in the first message that you sent to me, you work with women in this midlife time. So we all go through it, right? It's a natural biology. Am I going to look at it as something that I'm suffering through, or am I going to look at it as the weirdest mystery of midlife that I'm ever going to have? And I personally decided I was going to look at it as this amazing, watch my body go through all this weird stuff. And to me, the most fascinating thing that could exist was a hot flash. And so, the hot flash and the hot flash and the hot flash, I mean, it just consumes you. I mean, we know what it's like. We have them, right? So I'm encouraging, if somebody's suffering with notice the word, the terminology, if somebody is suffering a hot flash, next time you have it, explore it with curiosity. Where does it begin in your body? We know, right? We have them all the time. Where does it begin in your particular body? And for each one of us, it's probably going to be a little bit different. Where does it grow? When does it reach a point where I cannot change it? I cannot shift it. Or can I shift it? Can I shift it to actually not be a bilateral whole body experience? Can I shift it into running up my spine and out my right arm? Can I run it into the top of my head and out? Can I run it? What power do I have over this physiological experience? Instead of judging it as negative, judging it as wrong, judging it as hard, judging it as, oh no, it's going to get me again. No, let it be, because it is. And we get into the negative interpretation of any of these experiences as soon as little character 2 hooks onto it and says it's bad. It's bad and it's wrong and it's not good. And it's like, I had a great time through menopause because my mother had a horrible time. And I wasn't going to do menopause the way my mother did it. She became a monster. And it's like, I love you, Mom, I love you dearly, but boy, was menopause hard on the family, because she became a monster. And I wasn't going to become a monster. I was going to become a different kind of enthusiast about my body and what was actually going on. So we have the choice. It's a choice. You can look at your situation and you can say, I am so bombarded. I've got these kids that are out of control. I have all this pressure on me. I got this spouse, or I don't have this spouse, so I don't have the help. I've got an ailing parent. Life is hard. Life is hard. No question about it. Life is hard. And I can focus on the life is hard, or I can say life is hard. And I'm okay with that, because I'm alive. And I'll get through this. And I'll build the network of people that I need in order to be supportive of them and them supportive of me. And we're going to find our way through this. The only way is through. So do I want to look at it as my little character 2, where I'm caught in it and I'm a slave to it because I am?
Mhm.
Or do I want to say, okay, I am a slave to it, but I remember what it was like when I was 5 and I had some joy in my heart. Maybe I can still have a little joy in my heart. What do I do for joy? Who do I call for joy? Even if it's a phone call to a certain person who inevitably we're going to vent and then we're going to laugh our butts off because, life is just what life is and we're managing it. So knowing the 4 different characters inside of our brain still gives us the power to say, in this moment, yeah, life is hard, but I'm still going to go get my job done. I'm still going to do well. I'm going to still perform. Or I'm going to find my voice in song, and I'm going to sing, and I'm going to lift myself. Take responsibility for the energy I bring. What is the energy I bring? Each of these 4 different consciousnesses, these 4 different parts of who we are, has an energy. Okay, which energy do I want to be right now?
So instead of sitting and judging the moment because I'm having a hot flash and I'm angry about it, be, like you said, being present and almost enjoying the fact that your body is able to do this.
Oh my God, we are a miracle. We as humanity have these 2 hemispheres for a reason. One hemisphere is designed to have a me and I, and to judge what is right and what is wrong and what is good and bad. But the fact of the matter is, life doesn't happen in the past, and it doesn't happen in the future, and it doesn't happen linearity. Life happens in the present moment. So get your brain into the present moment and say, wow, we are biologically programmed to be adaptable. We are biologically programmed to be flexible. But if I'm saying, no, I don't like it, why? It is what it is. Change your frame of mind. It is what it is. Get over it, move on. Does it hurt me? Yeah. So let it hurt me. Let me look at the pain and let me say, but I don't have to be owned by the pain because I am flexible and I want to be flexible. And I don't want to be that all the time. I want to be in the present moment. Pain is in the past, in our minds, in the left hemisphere. You're going to let that rule you? You're going to let the part of your brain that looks at the world that says, oh, that's bad? Okay, push it away. But boy, if it's your biology, you can't push it away. I mean, come on.
You can, though, right? You can make different choices. And so I'm having a hot flash. I need a glass of water. I should open the window. I take my dog for a walk.
Yeah. And who wants to hear you complaining about your hot flashes?
Nobody.
Nobody. We all have them, And to me, they're really exciting. I mean, really, pay attention. Where does it begin in your body? What does it feel like as it migrates through you? Take a pause. Instead of judging it as negative and bad and wrong, look at it. Explore it. And sometimes, I just want to rage. And it's like, so what do? I take myself away from other people. I don't need to spew my venom on another human being because I feel overwhelmed. Anxiety is real, but anxiety, all these feelings, this is all cells. These are cells running circuits. So run other cells on purpose. If I feel like I'm moving into anxiety, inevitably, I bring my mind to the present moment because I don't have anxiety about what's going on in the present moment. I have anxiety about what I'm envisioning for the future. So I'm not even here. So pay attention to when is my brain, not where is my brain, when. When is my brain?
I'm going to have to write that down only because that is probably one of the most helpful things I've heard. It's weird because right now I'm feeling really good about everything. I'm enjoying this conversation, but I know the minute that I move to a different time, I'm going to feel a lot differently.
That's right.
So is this where the brain huddle comes in?
Well, the brain huddle is if I know who my 4 characters are. So if you sit down, do you have my book? If you sit down with my book and you read each chapter, and you read about character one, and you say, and then at the end of character one, it asks you very specific questions. Do you even recognize this part of you? And you'll think, okay. And then it'll say, yeah, I recognize that part of me. And then it'll say, can you give it a name? Give it a name. Just make a name up. Just give it a name. Be willing to give it a name. Claim the identity. Because if you won't give it a name, you won't give it an identity. And if you won't claim the identity, it's not available for you.
Okay.
So character twos, they don't want to give names because it means, oh, I got to get out of my character two and actually acknowledge that this is a real thing inside of me, but I don't want to give up my pain because character two clings to its pain because its pain is what it has learned throughout its life in order to protect itself from the future. For this moment, we can release our pain. We're safe. We're sitting at our kitchen table. I can work with my book and I can say, okay, character one. Yeah, I got a character one. Yeah. Yeah. And she really comes out in this room because all those drawers, they're neat and they're organized, but the rest of my house, it looks like hell. But it doesn't care. It doesn't matter because, it's like, where is my character one? What are her details? What does it feel like? When I dress as a character one, what does she wear? When I clean up and go to a thing, because it's appropriate for me to dress up and clean up and go for a thing, what's unique about my character one? Well, for me, my character one puts earrings in. Otherwise, you're not going to find me in earrings. It's part of the character one routine. I put on a logo shirt. It's part of the character one routine. Character one has an office. That's where she goes. She cares about whether or not that damn printer is working. Right? How often is the character is it not working? Right? It's like, go get another printer. I'm tired of this, right? Oh, but character two says, oh, but it gives my little character two an opportunity to be miserable. And it's like, just get a damn new printer and stop thinking about the printer. It's like, and then, I have an art space. And the art space is where our little character three comes out. And character three likes to make a mess. But character three has this arrangement with character one that says, okay, I won't just do a project and make a mess and then do another project and then just do another project on top of it and keep making the mess bigger and bigger. Between character three's or projects or creative bouts, character one comes in and cleans up the place. Thank goodness. Otherwise, I know what people's garages look like. How do they find anything? So my character one is strong enough that it says, okay, I call my character three Pigpen because she's a mess. It's like, okay, my agreement is we'll go play in the art space. You can just go do that. I won't bother you at all. But after the fact, I'm going to come in and we're going to clean up everything before we make a new mess. How's that sound? And character three goes, oh, thank God. Thank goodness, because then I can find my toys, right? And then little character four is looking at everybody inside my brain going, I love how you girls love each other. I love how you girls get along. I love that there's peace inside of our heart here because y'all are invested in the value of each one of you. And when you live your life inside of a brain where all different parts of who you are value and support and encourage each other, that's the brain huddle. And then it's like, bring it, whatever, and we'll adapt because we're adaptable. And if we're not adaptable, we're going down. And look at society. Society is holding us in this position where everybody wants to flee into our character too. Oh my God, can you believe what is going on in the world? And it's like my character one says, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to limit how much news we watch now. And we're not going to let character two be the part of who we are in our lives because otherwise we're drowning. And I don't want to live a life of drowning. I'm going to control what I control in my life with my character one. I'm going to capitalize on my character three and enjoy my life, enjoy my time, enjoy my friendships, enjoy my relationships, enjoy whatever it is. And then in character four, I'm going to recognize, society spins. Society rides highs and rides lows, and it has ever since humanity's been going. And, we adapt or we don't. And if we don't, it's little character 2 who says, no, it's got to be like this. It's got to look like this. It's got to sound like this. It's got to smell like this. And oh my God, don't give me another hot flash. And it's like, hot flashes are cool. It's okay. Let it flush through you. It's okay. Be in the present.
I'm too focused on the past or where I need to be and not where I am right here, right now.
Right. And, life is life. We don't get what we want. It's not designed for
Can you
us.
solve that one for me?
We don't get what we want. I want my mom to live to 150. Well, she died at 89. Okay. Well, I can be upset about that, or I can say, wasn't it beautiful? I had that girl for 56 years of my life.
Yeah.
And really celebrate the beauty of what was and what I had. It's not about what I want. It's about what is. And if I can allow myself to love and celebrate, and if I don't want what is, which part of my brain can change it? Bring on character 1 and say, okay, go to school. Get up, make the phone call, enroll, go to school, learn something new, or go get a different job. If I'm miserable in this job, am I miserable because of the job, or am I miserable simply because I'm miserable? And who wants somebody miserable working for them? That's no fun.
No.
So take responsibility for the energy you bring into the space.
When you're having a bad day,
Yeah.
how long do you spend in that moment?
Well, as soon as I know something's not going my way, that's the flag. That's the flag that says, attention. There's pain in me. Explore it. That's the flag. Instead of just saying, oh, woe is me, this happened and I'm not happy about it, it's like, I don't feel well. Something is telling me, okay, that didn't work out the way. Here's a great example. So, we've been working for a year. We were invited to bring whole brain living to school systems, school communities, by one of the senators. And when you're invited, that pretty much means you're going to get the funding because they've invited you. They know your work and they value it. And that was a year ago. That was last March. And we waited and we waited and we waited and we waited and we waited. And it's like, well, what do I do while I'm waiting? Because there's no guarantee that this is going to happen. And because of the way the political world went, it was through the Department of Education. So now the Department of Education is what? A phone and a chair. So all of that potential funding is gone. Okay, well, I can get really unhappy about that. And oh, God, oh, woe is me. And oh, woe is whole brain living. And it's like, no. I started putting fingers out to different people who reach out to me and say, I'd really like you to do some whole brain living programming for my population, which does this. And I say, okay, we'll make that work. And then someone else comes to me and it's like, okay, we'll make that work. And so it's like different than what I anticipated it would be, but I don't care. I don't care how I get funded to do what I do. I just want to do what I do. So if I make myself available, then because there are funds in different places for people to run different kinds of programming for their populations. Mm-hmm. Now, I could have really dug my head in the sand and said, oh, whole brain living's dead. Oh, nobody values it. Oh, da, 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 da. Well, I don't let them define the value of me or whole brain living because it doesn't matter what they think. That's a population. That is a system. It's like, okay, that one didn't work. Let's go over here. Let's try these other. And then I find that other people are reaching out to me because now I'm open to doing it in a different way. But I have to be open and I have to be willing and I have to be available and I have to be adaptable and I have to be flexible or the world leaves me behind.
Yes. And it will do so really quickly.
Boom. If I let it. But who's going to let it? My character 2. Because my character 2 is going to say, oh, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. So I'm going to paralyze myself. I'm not going to try anymore. And I'm going to hold all this pain. And I'm going to just hold on to the pain and let the pain win. And it's like, there is no way I am letting that pain win. I'm not going to let circumstances hold me down. Circumstances that have come and gone. If I'm letting my pain from the past hold me down, I need to really explore what the hell am I doing? What was that pain? It hurt me. I'm still letting it hurt me. I'm designed not to be that. I am biologically designed to heal, transform, and recover. Let myself be that. And I be that by recognizing 3/4 of my brain is not about my pain. 3/4 of my brain is about responding to the experience. So let myself do that. Let myself heal.
And you did that. You're going to find a different way of making this happen.
Yeah.
And chances are it's going to be better than it was before.
Because it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I can grow what is. I can't do anything with my pain from the past except heal it.
You mentioned just briefly about manifesting. And is that what you would say is happening here, or finding a different way of doing it? If you don't do that, you said you don't see how you can manifest?
Well, I can't manifest because all I'm doing is routinizing. Routinizing, manifestation is being open to whatever possibilities are and letting them grow. But if I'm in my pain from the past, I'm routinizing. I'm not growing. And I have to have growth. I have to, in order to learn. And otherwise, I can't grow. And if I can't grow, I cannot be tomorrow open to new possibilities that I don't see today. I need to heal. We are biologically programmed to be able to love ourselves. That's what character 4 is. Character 4 loves me. My character 4 loves me no matter what, and it is timeless. And it is this wondrous part of who we all are. We are all connected at the level of our brains to be the love of the universe. So if I'm born into a world where I am the love of the universe, it doesn't go away, but it's not yelling, hey, I'm the love of the universe. Don't listen to the real world because those people are cruel. It's like, it's silent. It's a silent love. It's like, it's love. It's just love that is always there. And if I know that I am loved by the universe, and I know that I'm loved because I'm alive, and being alive is 50 trillion beautiful cells working together for me in perfect harmony for me to be able to have life. I am not just life, but I am the energy of that life, which is love. And if I know that I am loved, and it can come in at any moment and help me heal whatever's hurting me in the moment, then it's no different than, let's say I'm a little child, because I am. My little character 2 is my pain. And let's say I'm a little bitty girl and I'm running along and I, fall over and I get I hurt my knee. And a loving mother's going to do what? A loving mother's going to swoop in and swoop me up, and she's going to look at that, she's going to look at me, and she's going to look at that, she's going to go, oh my gosh, you got an owie. You got a boo-boo. Well, I can do that for myself. That was a boo-boo. I didn't get those funds. Well, that's a boo-boo. It's okay. I'm not the boo-boo. The boo-boo's just something that's happening to me as I'm alive. So that little character 4 can be that loving mother that is always there, that maybe we had or maybe we didn't have. And it doesn't matter because I can give it to myself because I'm biologically programmed for that. And that was a boo-boo. Now I might want to call my good friend up and say, I got a boo-boo. And they'll say, oh, you got a boo-boo. You want to talk about it? And it's like, yeah, I didn't get my funding. And it's like, crap. And it's like, well, that's a bummer. And it's like, yeah. And it's like, and they hold the space. And we love one another. I mean, that's what we are. We are biologically programmed to love one another. So we figure out, well, who are my friends, who I call when I need love? I know. There are certain character 1s, I am not going to call them when I need to be loved because they're going to fix it. And it's like, I don't want it fixed. I just want to be held and I want to be loved. I want to be heard. I want to be connected with. And I can do that for myself because I have that in my own brain. And then my little pig pen comes along and says, come on, let's go play. Let's go do something fun. Let's distract ourselves away. It's like the boo-boo's okay. We'll put a little Band-Aid on it. It'll be okay. And then let's go get distracted. And so then we go out and we go for a walk with the dogs, and the dogs are adorable, and they're fighting with each other, and they're rolling and they're tumbling, and it's hilarious. I'm laughing now. And it's like, oh, 10 minutes ago I was in my little character 2. And now look at me. I'm in my little character 3. And then Helen, character 1, comes online and says, you girls did that really well. Congratulations. Now let's go to work. And it's like, okay, got to get new funding. Let's go to work. And so we let Helen go figure it out. It's how we are. We are all these 4 parts. We are all these 4 people for ourselves. And if you don't know who your own character 4 is, you need to get to know who your character 4 is, because you're pure love. And if you don't know who your character 3 is, you need to learn who your character 3 is, because she's totally in the present moment joy. And if you don't know who your character 1 is, she's fantastic. She's the one who's going to help make your life productive. And if you don't know who your character 2 is, or how to manage your character 2, get to know all 4 parts of you, so you know little character 2 is never alone, and little character 2 always has the rest. They're all right there inside the same head. And that's beautiful. The design of what we are as humanity is beautiful. So let's let ourselves be beautiful.
You don't know of how much, and I don't want to get a little, just a little teary-eyed here, but you don't understand how much this conversation means in this moment. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get emotional, but
It's real.
it's real. Yeah.
It's real. It's who we are, and we need to know this about ourselves. And when we know this about ourselves, we get to choose internal peace, and we really get to design our lives in the way that we want. And that is manifestation.
I could see the other little characters waving their flags right now. So
Yeah, they're in there going, come on.
Yes.
Come on. It's like, let's
So
go.
I think I have some work to do today.
Well, go get some glitter. Go get some glitter. I love glitter. Little character 3 loves glitter. It's just like, and then character 1's going, oh my God, that is such a mess to clean up.
Right.
But when seriously, when you know these parts of who you are, you become a whole human. And when you become a whole human, we realize our pain is so important. It is so important, because it's the flag that says, I'm not happy, look at this, so that I can learn and I can grow and I can heal, and then I can transform.
That was really special. Thank you so much. I think I do have to go get some glitter today. Usually it's pens and markers that are my glitter.
There you go. We all do it differently.
And a new drawing pad. So
good.
Thank
Holly.
you so much, Dr. Jill. I really appreciate this. If we want more of you, where can we find you? Where can we engage with you? Because I think your message is so important.
Yeah, thank you. So drjilltaylor.com. We have a new website coming up like in the next couple of weeks. But there is a landing page there, so it'll at least give you a way. So if anybody wants to get in touch with me, I'm running courses, deep dive into whole brain living this summer. I haven't done it for a couple of years. I've had a lot of people ask me to do it. It'll be 5 hours online. We'll meet 4 times, once a week for 4 weeks. For 75 minutes each time. And for 60 minutes, it will be, we are digging into this material, and then every day we'll have a 15 minutes of Q&A. So, all of that will become made available in the next few weeks. So, but if anybody wants to get hold of me, drjilltaylor, drjilltaylor.com.
I'll make sure to pass that along and put that in notes. And I'm going to be talking about this book wherever I go, because it has made an impact on me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Holly. Appreciate you. Appreciate your audience. Enjoy those hot flashes.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to get my glitter now.
Exactly. Thank you, dear.
Thank you for joining us on Real Insights. If you want to hear more about how other women find peace in the chaos, Order your copy of Empart, Real Stories, Real Wisdom, Real Menopause on Amazon today. And don't forget to join the conversation at joinempart.com. Until next time, remember that menopause is a journey, but you're not alone.